Hey everybody, we are back and I want to talk to you about fear, sorrow, hope, and joy. The four, what we call the four passions of the soul according to John of the Cross. This is just a 2-minute synopsis of it to give you the view at 30,000 feet. So as you're reading John of the Cross, you're coming to Carmel, you're in Carmel. What is it about the fear, sorrow, hope, and joy? If you're a spiritual director, you want to know that. If you're being directed, you want to know that. Because you're to fear only the loss of God. You're to take sorrow only in the loss of God. You're to hope only in God. And you're to take joy only in God. Now that can be harsh. So some leaders will ignore that. Some will downplay it. But I am going to give it to you in its full measure as these tapes progress, because I don't think we should ignore it. I don't think we should diminish it. And I think John of the Cross has a clear answer, but we want to get into his head and his mindset in the 1500s. And he never wants anybody to act as a beast. He's never telling you that you're going to have to choose God and not your family. He is orienting you towards God, the fullness of God, and he's giving you the mindset of God, who is asking you to have communion with him. So fear, sorrow, hope, and joy, and we want to consider those concepts, and we want to think about them from the standpoint of you want to fear only the loss of God, you want to take sorrow only in the loss of God, you want to hope only in God and take joy only in God as first things. So, beautiful. I'll leave you with just a little snapshot here of my experience and my witness. If you are anxious about something and you're not certain what you're anxious about, if you can tell me what is it that you take great joy in. And if you tell me that it's your red Corvette, then the loss of the red Corvette is going to bring you sorrow. And if you have not lost it, you may fear of losing the red Corvette. So the threat of something in the presence could be a fear of the loss of that red Corvette. If the red Corvette has already been taken from you, that red Corvette, it's a car in America here, a valuable car, sports car. If you've already lost that red Corvette, you're taking sorrow in the loss of something in the past. The loss of something in the future can often present itself as fear. So you have this vague anxiety, this vague fears. And you can look in the Bible. I believe it was the holy people in the Old Testament that had, the name escapes me, but he had fears in the night. And Solomon, I think, had fears in the night. And this is part of the spiritual walk with God. So you don't know what that is, and you're anxious. Now, because we're going to have the general means to perfection, the general coming closer to God, and the specific means. If you know exactly what God wants you to do, you're going to be further ahead. But again, we want to use these in terms of spiritual direction: fear, sorrow, hope, and joy. Now you're taking joy in that red Corvette. You're hoping, if you don't have the red Corvette, you're hoping in the red Corvette, and go through all the 5 senses to figure out what it is you take joy in with touch, what it is sorrow, hope, and joy in touch, in taste, in smell. And you can go through the rest of the senses and determine for yourself, beginning to take an inventory interiorly of what it is. We'll come back to it. Leave a comment below if you want to hear more about it, because I can go on and parse this very carefully. But right now, this is at an introductory level. I want to put the concept of the 4 passions on your map. Good theology is good psychology, and you'll come to have happiness. I want you to have more control and predictability in your life and happiness. So I hope that has helped. We can come back to it. We can do a podcast. Podcasts are, you can spend an hour debating this, but I've taught on it for a long time, and I want to indicate to you that as we go further into this, there will be an introductory presentation of the concept. Then we have no background. You don't need any background. There will be, and from any culture, then there will be an intermediate presentation, and then there will be a presentation for those who are more advanced that are in the unitive stage. So we will go through all 3 stages, but right now I want that on your map of knowledge. So as a practical matter, practice point, ask your spiritual director, are you considering the 4 passions that John of the Cross talks about? Fear, sorrow, hope, and joy as you're leading me, okay? And we will come back to that, all right?